Long couple feet.
Bengals getting back to basics, and they're going to go no huddle. Third and 1. Quarterback sneak. He may not have gotten it. I'm not sure that running right at Big Ted Washington is the best idea.
Yeah, Carson Palmer is a big quarterback, but you could probably fit two of him inside Ted Washington, so that's not a good matchup, I don't think. They tried to get up and run it quickly.
Andre Davis, the middle linebacker, helped stop it up.
You see. Oh boy, that was a great play right there by Andre Davis, jumping over the top. And there's no doubt when they're trying to rush up on the ball like that, the defense is not dumb. They know you're probably trying to get that easy, cheap first down with the quarterback sneak.
So we're going to see the field goal unit of Shane Graham and company come on the field.
And that's a huge success. Romeo Crennel knows if they can get away with either 0 points or 3 points after giving Cincinnati the ball on the 25-yard line going in, that's a big success for the Cleveland Browns.
Cut into the Cleveland lead. And it's good. So 27-24 now with 12:09 left in the third. So once again, Jason Wright is the deep man, and we get word that Joshua Cribbs is in the locker room with shortness of breath. So again, they squib it. It's taken and bobbled by an up man, and finally gotten and brought down hard at the 23-yard line. That was Lenny Friedman, an offensive lineman.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. The Ford F-150, built Ford tough. And by Miller Lite, preserve the liquid sanctity of game day. Miller Lite, good call.
Well, I was at the game. How'd you know it was me? Browns take over. Second possession of the second half after the interception by Anderson. They keep it on the ground. Jamal Lewis fights his way out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Justin Smith made the stop, and we've had 38 points scored in less than 14 minutes of game time.
It has been wild and wacky. There's been about everything possible that could have gone on has happened in the last 14 minutes in this ball game. We've had kickoff returns, we've had turnovers, we've had great individual efforts.
That was a pickup of 4 for Lewis, so 2nd and 6 for Cleveland. Lewis is the motion man. He goes back to the backfield. He releases out, incomplete. They were trying to set up a quick screen. It was well covered by the Bengals. Leon Hall, the rookie, is out there, and we get word that Jonathan Joseph, the starting cornerback, has been taken in for x-rays. So Hall started last week out of the University of Michigan. Marvin Lewis told us that he has played far and above the way rookies normally do. He said, I've been very, very, very impressed with him.
And Jonathan Joseph was inactive last week, or a lot of the season last year, due to that foot injury. Hope it's not the foot again.
Third down. Anderson, plenty of time. Edwards. Did he make the catch? Yes. Braylon Edwards with an acrobatic grab at the 45-yard line, and they're going to get up in a hurry, perhaps trying to keep the review option out of the equation.
And Marvin Lewis has thrown the red flag already.
And he was quick. That was a pickup of 19 yards if it stands.
And he's on to what the Browns are trying to do. That's the second time they've tried to get up and get the quick snap. So, because once one play is run, after the play that is question or possibly going to be challenged, you cannot go back and challenge, obviously.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver did not have 2 feet down inbounds when he was making the catch.
Let's see what we can see as they'll review this. One is down, dragging the toe. Oh, very close. great catch by Braylon Edwards.
Tremendous individual effort. You see that left foot is down, and look, you can see the dirt come up inbound. He drags that right toe. Absolutely textbook. What a tremendous individual effort.
And Romeo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a catch.
Yeah. You know what? These Browns, they've had a lot to get excited about today.
So from the 45-yard line, first down for Cleveland. The lead 27-24. The delay. Lewis close to a first down, dragging Justin Smith an extra couple of yards.
You're exactly right, Bill. That was a lead draw, a little delay, just to try and let the play develop a little bit, try and hold off the penetration, let those linemen kind of create some space for Jamal Lewis to follow his fullback right up the pipe, and good, strong physical run by Jamal Lewis.
Picked up an extra 5 yards after the initial contact. So into Cincinnati territory from the 45-yard line of the Bengals. And again, it's Lewis. And they may keep going to this well until the Bengals can stop him. Down to the 42-yard line. Friday was the 4th anniversary of Jamal's record 295 yards, which came against the Browns, rushing in 2003. But we've talked about the quarterback situation. Jamal is the 10th different starting running back the Browns have had here since 2003. That's the most in the NFL. Second down, and Lewis stopped for a loss that time. The 44-yard line, and John Thornton was there and blew up the play. And this, of course, was the record day, September 14th, 2003, playing for the Ravens, and he was all over the place. 295 yards as the Ravens beat the Browns 33-13.
And no one in the stadium would like to be that answer than more so than Jamal Lewis. He'd love to be that workhorse running back, getting that 25 to 30 carries a game.
Third and long after the loss, so Anderson from the shotgun steps up to the sidelines, and that's caught by Winslow. Kellen Winslow's having a big day, and that's another Cleveland first down. Got a step on Deltha O'Neal.
And there aren't a lot of tight ends that can create separation against a cornerback as we look at the updated to-the-minute statistics for the fantasy folks out there. But boy, you know, there's obviously a lot of confidence between Derek Anderson and Kellen Winslow. They like working together. They've been a very active tandem today, and Derek Anderson has no hesitation pulling the trigger to him, no matter who's trying to cover him.
Jason Wright has checked in. Winslow goes over to the right side in the slot. Anderson, pump fake, up the sidelines, has Edwards, Braylon Edwards, touchdown! And he beat the rookie Leon Hall.
Great play call, maximum protection, little play action. Braylon Edwards did the little stutter and go on the outside and got all the separation he needed on Leon Hall. Ball delivered perfectly for the 4th time today. A touchdown pass from Derek Anderson.
34 yards, the touchdown reception. The lead is 10 and break up the Browns. Braylon Edwards, a nice little move on the rookie, and he's got 6 for Cleveland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless and by Claritin Allergy Products. Live Claritin Clear.
Romeo Crennel talked this week about getting the ball to his playmakers, and he's done that today with Edwards and Winslow. Edwards, 5 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Winslow, 5 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Bryn Holt at the 1 for Cincinnati. Nice burst. And a good return once again. This time it comes from the Bengals, and Eric Wright finally brought him down, and that will quiet the crowd. Just over 8 minutes left in the third. The Browns lead by 10. It's a surprise here in Cleveland.
Running to cover Skylar Green, and there was maybe a foot that Carson Palmer had to sit that ball in there, and he stuck it right on the money, and that's all it took to get Skylar Green on the outside.
Skylar Green, who has played primarily on special teams. That was a pickup of 18 yards. They spot it at the 16-yard line. The Bengals are threatening again. Rudy Johnson stacked up at the line of scrimmage, picked up maybe one.
And Marvin Lewis, he's got to be wondering what the heck is going on here. We played so well defensively, but Bill, I think a point that cannot be overemphasized. That game Monday night, number one, it's a day less to prepare. They had a short week this week against a very physical Baltimore team that you come out playing the Ravens, you come out of those games beat up. So those could all be factors today for the Bengals.
2nd and 9. Gonzalez was the motion man. They go to the left side. Really trying to get the corner and picks up a couple. Dequell Jackson and Mike Adams forced him out of bounds. Well, check out the new NFL.com Game Center for exclusive video highlights, stats, and photos from today's games. It's all at NFL.com. Crowd on their feet here in Cleveland. It's been a while since they've had a lot to cheer about. And they are savoring this afternoon. 3rd, and we'll call it 8. Palmer with time. Gets rid of it. Touchdown. Chad Johnson. And we have a flag. And let's check the penalty. It's over on the far sideline. Chad's going into the pound. And he gets a little dose of beer. And a friendly greeting from the folks over there. Says no hard feelings, but it might be all for naught. Let's check the penalty.
They called on the Browns. Whatever it was called, it was against the Browns. And Chad Johnson.
So the touchdown will count, and so will the trip to the pound.
Yes. He came out of there a little bit wetter than when he went in there. I'll tell you
Yes,
that.
he did.
Those boys, our buddies down there, we went down and talked to him before the game, and they said they'd welcome him. They weren't going to be too hard on him, but they got it. They made their point, I think, to him.
I don't think they expected a game like this.
No, I don't think so.
So the extra point is good. A 14-yard touchdown catch by Chad Johnson, who has 125 yards and 2 touchdowns now in the day.
And lost in all that, Bill, was it was a tremendous effort by Carson Palmer. You saw him hold the ball, hold. He waited as long as he could. He almost tucked it and ran, but he told us in our meeting yesterday, I do not like to run the football unless I have to. He bought just enough time, great protection by his line to find Chad Johnson, and there we go, up into the dog pound. They're trying to pull him in. Oh, there goes the beer. Hey, Carson Palmer, boy, he loves throwing the ball to Chad Johnson and company. They got a lot of weapons out there. They can make up a lot of points in a hurry.
Now he'll get dried off. He said, they can do whatever they want to me. I'm going in there, and I'm going to tell them I love them. The thing about Chad Johnson is that he does a lot of stuff, and he draws a lot of attention to himself, but for some reason, he does it in a way that you don't seem to get angry at it.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they don't understand it.
Over the years,
that was the river dance. T.O., I got you, baby. A little putting, a little golf. He can golf. He can propose.
A little resuscitation.
A little CPR.
And last week, future Hall of Famer.
But, the thing about it, and you hit on it, Bill, perfectly, you talk to the opponents, people that play against him, and they absolutely love him, too. They love his personality. They love his enthusiasm, his energy. He makes it fun for everybody. They don't love the way he makes them look bad. But
love those 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Joshua Cribbs is back, and that's good news for Cleveland.
Well, what do you predict is going to happen next, Bill?
Oh, goodness. Who could have predicted this so far? Again, taken by an up man. And he's brought down at about the 34-yard line. I believe it was Darnell Dinkins on the return. Dinkins is a backup tight end. Chad's all smiles. 6:04 remaining in the third, 34-31, and don't miss the new show, 7 Central on CBS. So the Browns will go back to work. Lewis, nice little move, cutting back inside. Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis will score. And it feels a lot better when he's wearing a Browns uniform. 66 yards. And that's what will happen next.
There you go. My goodness. He was not touched on this play. You'll see it's just a little counter action. Good job by the offensive line, the left side cave and everything down to the right. And once Jamal Lewis got that big body through the hole, you know what? He hasn't seen that much green grass in front of him in a long time. He was going to get every bit of it, mow it all down, and take it to the house.
Are you kidding me? The extra point is good. And it's 41-31, and we still have just under 6 minutes remaining in the third. 139 yards after the touchdown run by Jamal Lewis. Wow. We've had 59 points scored in the last 20 minutes and 2 seconds.
And these are two defensive coaches, Marvin Lewis and Romeo Crennel. I'll tell you what, it's just baffling how many big plays have been made today and how it just keeps going back and forth.
Wow. And they are on their feet again here in Cleveland. Look at those numbers. 335 yards and 368 for Cleveland. Over 700 yards of offense. And we're not even in the fourth quarter yet. Holt, short kick. Holt with some room again. And gets it out to the 38-yard line. Well, coming up next, Larry Johnson and the Chiefs will tangle with Brian Urlacher and the Bears, and the Jets will battle the Ravens, while the Raiders take on the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. So they spotted at the 37-yard line, and what's next?
You know, if you would have told Marvin Lewis you were going to give him 31 points today, you think he would have taken it?
Particularly after how well his defense played on Monday night.
Exactly.
Palmer. And that's caught by Hurstmanzadeh. Brought down immediately. Short of the 45-yard line. At the 44 by DeQuell Jackson and Eric Wright. Rushing yards. And the passing yards. Cincinnati with a slight edge now. And total yards, Cleveland with the advantage. Second down and 3 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Rudy Johnson able to get away from the first tackler and into Cleveland territory. Once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an NFL update.
Hey, Bill and Steve, productive day for Brett Favre and the Packers. After a fumbled kickoff by the Giants, Favre back of the end zone bullet to Donald Driver, making a 28-13 Pack. Back to Bill and Steve.
All right, JB. Donald Driver was injured in the preseason, so for Packers fans, that's good news that he seems to be at full speed. Palmer will throw again. Now he's going to run. He's got a little bit of room and does the slide down inside the 40. Down to the 37-yard line.
I don't know if we can call that a slide. I think we call that a plop. I mean, he didn't move too much when he hit the ground. He told us yesterday he does not like to run, but that time he saw so much green in front of him, he had to take it and go. Look at that.
Well, he's enjoyed good games against Cleveland. He has a quarterback rating better than 95. Almost 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns coming into this one. He will pad those stats today. First down. Palmer again to the sideline. That's caught. And the pickup down to about the 34-yard line, and that's Daniel Coates, the rookie free agent out of BYU. The Bengals really like him. They've been impressed from the start with his ability as a receiver, and has developed into a decent blocker. And a graphic that really says it all. We've only had 2 punts.
And by the way, that last throw by Carson Palmer didn't look like much, but there's not many quarterbacks in the league that can zip that ball in the way he did.
2nd and 6. Here come the Browns out quickly to the flat to Glenn Holt, and Holt scampers for another first down. So again, no huddle. Browns unable to change their defensive package. That is the 24th first down of the game, by the way, for the Bengals. This time on the ground. Rudy Johnson fights his way inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Sean Thompson, who plays in the nickel and dime packages, backup linebacker, made the tackle.
Boy, Todd Grantham's got to be scratching his head, trying to figure out how to. Cincinnati's doing a great job right now, spreading them out with 3 wide receivers. And Carson, if he gets the right numbers, they're running the ball. If he likes the one-on-one matchups, he's throwing the ball. He's really in control out there right now.
Managed this drive beautifully. 2nd and 2. And we have a flag.
False start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty.
False start, they call it on the left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. Well, in the last 2 quarters, how about those yardage numbers? Almost 600 yards.
Yeah, those first quarter numbers aren't bad, but I mean, they look bad compared to the last 2 quarters.
2nd and 7. After the penalty. Rudy, nothing.
Boy.
Nice defensive play up front by Cleveland. Robert Smith and Cameron Wembley led the charge.
A really good job by the Cleveland defensive front. I haven't said many good things defensively today, but they did a great job of penetrating and controlling that line of scrimmage, and Robert Smith shooting through the gap and making the hit in the backfield on Rudy Johnson. Now 3rd and 10 for Cincinnati. You would think the advantage would go to Cleveland here.
You would think. Browns need a stand. They're up by 10. Palmer. And that is caught once again. A beautiful pass and a fine catch down inside the 5-yard line by Chad Johnson.
Yeah. Chad doesn't want to give that ball up. That was boy, what a great catch. Throw and catch. 3rd and 10, and you had 2 deep man-to-man coverage. Cleveland's in the perfect coverage. You can see the position, but again, we saw right there, Andre Davis, just as we saw earlier with Caleb Miller, the linebacker for Cincinnati, when their back is turned, the quarterback is going to find a way. That was Leon Williams. I'm sorry, number 94. The quarterback will drill that ball in there.
That was good for 22 yards. Chad now has 147 on the day. And that's Husmanzada, a touchdown, and there'll be no doubt about that. That will not be reviewed. And he didn't even slow down when he put it over the goalpost.
No. Little finger roll. And Todd Grantham wondering what in the world do we have to do here?
Defensive coach's nightmare.
And just a really quick decision and throw. A little play action to hold the linebacker. You see Andre Davis step up, the linebacker number 54, and that opens up a hole over the top. And Husmanzada, big body wide receiver, gives Carson Palmer all the target he needs to stick it in there for another touchdown pass.
So he now has 2 touchdown receptions. The extra point is good. And we've had 79 points scored so far. The numbers for TJ: 6 catches, 55 yards. And the lead once again is 3, 41-38. Wow.
I'm running out of
Carson Palmer, by the way, nearing 300 yards, 23 of 27. He's had a very good day despite the early interception.
Yeah.
Throwing the football, 5 touchdown passes now. And this programming note: next Saturday, Steve Spurrier in South Carolina travel to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. It all begins at 3 p.m. Eastern with TIAA Cref College Football Today with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman.
You know, we've seen a lot of kickoffs today, but one thing, Joshua Cribbs, the return man for the Cleveland Browns back there, he has scared Cincinnati so much so that all 3 of the kickoffs that Cincinnati's had this year, they've squibbed every one of them. They're not even going to give him a chance to return a kick today.
That, by the way, was the 3rd scoring drive in which Carson Palmer was perfect. He was 5 of 5 for 46 yards and the touchdown. Short kick, here's Cribbs. And he has it out across the 40-yard line. So good field position once again for Cleveland. 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd.
And, you know, one of the things, when you look at the roster for the quarterbacks for the Browns, you see there is not much experience. The wily vet Dorsey there has got 10 total starts, and this is not a normal situation to have. When you look at the NFL average, most quarterback, you combine all the quarterbacks, you're looking at 93. But, boy, Derek Anderson, he's shown signs of being a young quarterback, but he's shown flashes of brilliance today, too.
218 yards, 4 touchdowns. Lewis stopped at the line of scrimmage. That one interception to start the second half. Jamal Lewis is helped up. There's our quarterback comparison.
23 of 27 for Carson Palmer. And look at the rating, both very high. 4 and 5 touchdowns, 1 interception each. Pretty impressive numbers, both sides, any way you slice it.
And we still have a quarter to go. 2nd and 9 for Cleveland. Short drop for Anderson. The slant to Edwards. And he's brought down at the 46-yard line. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Cleveland after this message and a word from your local station. It has been a real shootout here in Cleveland. Browns lead at 41-38. And there's the scoring by quarter as we start the final period. 3rd down for Cleveland. Anderson. And Joe Jurevicius is close to a first down. It will depend on the spot.
Well, you would think the veteran Joe Jurevicius, it looks like from here is short, but he's got that big, long body. He should have been stretching that ball out a little further. He's got the presence and the experience to know where that marker is. And you know, the question is, does Romeo Crennel go for it here? Well, with a 3-point lead, I don't know if you want to run the risk of giving the Cincinnati Bengals a short field.
And still looking for his first win against the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's definitely going to be short, no matter of how much. And you know, if they do decide to bring the punt team out, this would be a good situation to possibly run the fake punt as well, because you're near midfield. It's got a full foot. So he's got a decision. I think most coaches with the lead would probably decide to punt this, but he's saying go for it.
Yep, why not?
And you know what? The fans will appreciate that mentality, I'm sure. You got to. This is the kind of decision by a coach that can really either backfire or make your team really feel like, you know what, my coach is trusting me. It's going to get us over the hump with decisions like that. He's believing in us enough to go against what would maybe be the conventional wisdom here and take a chance.
Browns have punted only once in the entire game. Same number for Cincinnati. So 4th and less than a yard for the Browns.
I think you got to feed Jamal Lewis, even though everybody in the stadium knows it's coming.
They give it to the first man through. That's Lawrence Vickers, the fullback.
Oh,
and let's wait until they unpile.
It looks like he had to get to the 48-yard line, and the spot is just short of the 48-yard line.
The officials are right in there.
I mean,
that is very close.
It really is. It doesn't look to me as though he made it. I'm surprised you wouldn't give it to your workhorse and play that big. 4th and short, just not a lot of push. A great job on the interior defensive line by the Cincinnati Bengals. It's short.
And the Bengals defense is held. Remember how they came up big on Monday night in the win against the Ravens, keeping Baltimore out of the end zone. And they'll get it. Good field position.
You know, and I think Jamal Lewis is probably surprised too. I understand what Rob Chudzinski was trying to do. He thought that the Bengals would be focused on Jamal, but it just backfired on him.
So the Bengals get it just short of midfield. And Husmanzadeh gets it into Cleveland territory. Driven out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
But, you know, Bill, to talk about the decision that Romeo Crennel made, I think you can make a case for it either way. You really could make a case for it. It's the kind of decision that can energize a team, but it backfired on them. I think if it was not as desperate a situation as this for the Browns, as we watch Rudy Johnson pick up about 5 yards, if it wasn't the situation that they're in, how badly they want to win a game, how badly this team needs to have something to get them excited, to know that someone believes in them, I think you would have seen most coaches in the NFL with the lead try and pin a good offense like the Bengals back in their own end of the field with that lead.
Crowd coming to life. 3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Browns are showing blitz, and Carson Palmer checks off at the line.
Yep. He's so good at that, at forcing them to show their hand.
Still coming. They pick it up now. Palmer flushed from the pocket out to the sideline. That's short of the first down and not a catch. Reggie Kelly, the tight end, was the intended receiver.
So now you're going to see Marvin Lewis, a very similar situation, although it's 4th and 2. Yeah, they're going to punt the ball.
And Robert Smith.
It's actually 4th and 1.
Flushed Palmer from the pocket.
Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator for Cleveland. He's excited that his team finally got a stop. You're going to see the Bengals punt for the second time today.
Kyle Larson's excited because he gets to go back out on the field. That is the first punt since 3:29 of the first quarter.
Good kick.
Yeah. And it will bounce backward and then down at about the 5-yard line. So a long field upcoming for the Cleveland Browns. 41-38.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Accord. Beyond the Road, all new from Honda. The Comcast Triple Play. Experience TV, phone, and internet together like never before. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We're approaching 800 yards of total offense in this wild one here in Cleveland.
12 yards away to be exact.
And ended up spotting it at the Cleveland 8-yard line. So 92 yards to go for the Browns. Lewis gets it out across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Justin Smith made the tackle.
As well as Derek Anderson has played today, I think that the couple of throws that he's made today that have been a little shaky, you want to give the quarterback confidence. You might throw a nice safe pass here, but you're not going to see them getting carried away. Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, the worst thing that could happen here would be to give the ball to Carson Palmer and company with a short field. So you'll probably see another safe run or maybe a safe quick throw to the outside. That's about it.
2nd and 7 for Cleveland. Anderson. And he's got Hyden. That's a first down.
And what do I know?
That was a bold throw. Nothing safe about that, and it moves the chains.
That's the kind of call right there that if you're a quarterback, you want the coach to give you that opportunity. And Rob Chudzinski did a great job setting this up. Play action. You got the perfect coverage. Derek Anderson made the right read and delivers a strike. Steve Hyden right down the middle.
27 yards on the play. So now we're over 800 total yards in the game. First and 10 from the Cleveland 38-yard line. Blitz, here they come. Jamal Lewis. Lewis still on his feet and rumbles into Cincinnati territory down to the 48-yard line.
And you can see the confidence exuding from this Browns offense. And you can't emphasize enough the decision that Romeo Crennel made to go for it on fourth down, even though it didn't work out. The decision Chudzinski made to give Derek Anderson and Steve Hyden a chance to make that play backed up in their own end zone. Those are the kind of decisions that really tell a team, we're giving you the chance to make plays. Now you guys go out and do your job and make the plays.
An extra 6 yards after the initial contact, and Jamal Lewis has 155 yards, and Romeo wants a timeout. He just wants to catch his breath. 41-38. Goodness gracious. Derek Anderson and his crew back to work. In the Cincinnati 48-yard line, the bootleg, little pump fake, and finally he gets it out. That's the fullback. What a move by Lawrence Vickers. And Vickers is close to a first down. And that was pretty nifty for the fullback.
For a 6-foot, 252-pounder, you don't see the spin move too often. Yeah, I thought Derek Anderson could have given the ball to him right now a lot quicker. He's the first read, but he got it to him late. And then, oh, look at that little juke in the spin.
Wow.
And Caleb Miller caught him with his chest, too.
So that's a first down. Numbers for Anderson, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's done a good job managing the game for Cleveland. It helps that Jamal Lewis has had a big day, over 150 yards rushing. The corner blitz, and they pick it up. Anderson all alone. Edwards! Is it a touchdown? Yes, there's the signal. He skidded into the end zone. .138 yards and now 2 touchdowns. And the Browns with the extra point trying to regain their 10-point advantage. The extra point is good. Another look at the second touchdown reception by Edwards all alone. A blown coverage. Touchdown Browns.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by the new AT&T, your world delivered.
We're back, and Phil Dawson and Shane Graham are going to have to ice their legs after all the action they've seen following the scoring. Just under 10 minutes remaining. It is a 10-point lead for Cleveland. Holt takes it at the 7-yard line. Still on his feet, picking his way up across the 30 and close to the 35-yard line. And Steve, let's take another look at the scoring play.
Well, you're going to see, Bill, you're going to see Dexter Jackson coming off the slot right here. He's going to just come straight off the slot. But the big guy to watch right here is Leon Hall, the corner. When the blitz comes, he's expecting a quick throw from Derek Anderson. He sits. Cleveland picks it up. No problem with the pressure. And Derek Anderson has Braylon Edwards wide open out there. Leon Hall, the rookie corner, gambling, thinking that there was going to be a quick throw coming out of there. Instead, Braylon Edwards went right past him, Easy touchdown. Great play by Braylon Edwards and Derek Anderson.
The Bengals will start from their own 35-yard line. Palmer dumps it off to Johnson. Nice little move, and he picks up 9. Lee Bodden made the stop. Yard shy of a first down. Clock continuing to run. Less than 9.5 minutes remaining. 2nd and 1 for Cincinnati. On the ground, Rudy, and brought down at midfield. Rudy Johnson over 100 yards on the day, and also has a touchdown reception. 23 carries and 118 yards for Rudy Johnson.
I keep thinking one of these drives we're going to see a defense stand up here.
On first down, a bit underthrown, and Hushmanzadeh couldn't pull it in.
Todd Grantham thinking, boy, if we can just stop these guys one time, give our offense a chance to kind of pull away a little bit, that would be great.
It's a 2-score game, and Cincinnati has not been able to stop Cleveland. Carson checking off. He's moving Reggie Kelly, the tight end, over to the right side. Play clock is down to 2. Just got it off to Hushmanzadeh, incomplete, and he was well covered over there by the rookie Eric Wright.
Yeah, that was an example, I think, where Cleveland actually kind of outsmarted Carson. That doesn't happen too often, but I know for a fact that all that talking and communicating that Carson Palmer was doing, he wasn't looking to try and throw a 2-yard pass. He thought it was going to be a certain coverage. Cleveland did a good job of disguising it, forcing him into a throw he didn't want to make.
So it'll be 3rd and long, and this place is rocking. Everyone on their feet. From the shotgun, 3rd and 10. And we have a flag and whistles. He didn't get the play off.
Offense, 5-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
So delay of game, and they'll march it back 5 to the 45-yard line.
Well, now the question goes to Marvin Lewis and his staff, and Bob Bratkowski, whether they want to try and get about half of this back. If they're considering themselves down 2 scores, they might be in 4-down territory. So you might not see Carson Palmer going for the whole thing right here.
8:46 left to play. Palmer with time to the corner. Big catch by Chad Johnson. Was he inbounds? No.
Well, what a great throw that was from Carson Palmer, though, to make that throw, drop it in there on the sideline. Chad Johnson must have been bobbling this ball because it looked like he was in with that right foot. Boy, he did catch that ball, just didn't get that right foot down. And that's one of those where you say, you know what, Chad, you didn't really have to jump for that ball. You could have just reached up with your hands and kept your feet on the ground. Seldom does he make bad decisions about how to catch a football. Right there, it would have been better served to just reach up with his hands instead of leaving the ground.
So a rare punt as we see Kyle Larson. And this is a short punt. Cribbs from the 22. Nice little spin move and gets it out to just beyond the 30-yard line. 8:29 remaining and some pushing and shoving after the 32-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Well, he's tall, dark, and immortal, and he's coming to take a bite out of Friday night. Moonlight premieres after Ghost Whisperer, Friday, September 28th, here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Kind of like you, Bill. Tall, dark. Well, you're not tall, you're not dark, but
short, squatty, and losing his hair. And how about those numbers? Derek Anderson, 5 touchdown passes today. That ties the Browns franchise record. They're going to eat up some clock with Lewis, and he's got a big hole. Jamal Lewis up the sidelines, and another big game for Jamal Lewis. Right around 200 yards now. A great block from Joe Jurevicius. Sprung him.
You know, I would not want to be in Dexter Jackson's shoes. He's the one that had to face up. You see right at number 28. Watch him. He's got to face Jamal Lewis coming full speed right at the field. And boy, that is a hard man to bring down when it's just you and him, and he's rolling downhill like that. Dexter Jackson barely got a hand on him.
198 yards for Jamal Lewis.
9.5 yards a carry.
That was 47 yards on that last run.
And timeout by Cleveland. This is exactly what the Cleveland fans were looking for, though. Something to get excited about.
And they are excited. And we are now, take a look at that, well over 900 yards of offense. Got your calculator? Oh, like 942 to me.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
You run out of descriptive words to justify what's going on here.
Well, if you have any of these guys in fantasy, you're doing pretty well. Even Anderson. I wonder if anybody picked up Derek Anderson going into this week. Jamal's at the top now, 203.
Chad Johnson right there. Braylon Edwards.
Jason Wright. Play action for Anderson. Over the middle, and that's caught. He continues to be so impressive. Kellen Winslow with another catch.
It's just baffling to me, Bill, how open these guys are and how easy they're making it look. Great route by Kellen Winslow. Just a tremendous play. Again, aggressive, keeping that mentality.
18 yards on that play, and Jamal Lewis is back in the game. Kellen Winslow right at 100 yards receiving now. Lewis. Jamal back inside. Just short of the end zone.
And that Jamal Lewis going over 200 yards. And I hate to make excuses for Cincinnati, but I cannot help but think that this defense is just worn down and tired from the Baltimore game last week.
We want to welcome those of you just joining us. This has been a wild one here in Cleveland. The Browns threatening to go over 50. They lead 48-38. Jamal Lewis has over 200 yards. We're nearing 1,000 yards combined in total offense. And Lewis is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. A little less than 6.5 minutes to go. It has been a remarkable game on the offensive side of the football. 3rd and goal. And we're going to show you the 11 touchdowns. A reception by Rudy Johnson got things started. A close one by Hushmanzadeh. Jurevicius has a couple of them. Kellen Winslow, Braylon Edwards. And, of course, Chad Johnson. T.J. Hushmanzadeh has a couple of them.
And that last play we saw was about the best stand by the Cincinnati defense we've seen in a long time.
Well, they've got to stop him here. Anderson throws it away. Over the head of Kellen Winslow, who was well covered.
And I think you're going to see Romeo. He did go for it earlier on 4th down and short, but I think right here with a 10-point lead, you take any points you can. You make it a two-touchdown game
yeah,
as opposed to a touchdown and a field goal game.
Bill McAtee and Steve Berline, good to have you with us. As we see Phil Dawson, who didn't have a field goal try last week, made a couple today. An 18-yard field goal try for Dawson. And it's good. And that is our 89th point of the game. 51-38 Cleveland.
And we mentioned it earlier, but Marvin Lewis, if you told him he was going to get 38 points today, you'd think he would take that in a heartbeat. how well his defense played Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. But, boy, with this Cleveland Browns offense surprising, exploding with Derek Anderson at quarterback, a guy making literally his 4th start. Jamal Lewis, who didn't do much last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, to come in and 200 yards running and 5 touchdowns by Derek Anderson. Pretty impressive.
He only had 35 yards in the game against Pittsburgh. Well, let's take you back. November 28, 2004. These two teams combined for 106 points. Second most scored in the game in the NFL. 9 touchdown passes were thrown between the two teams. Kelly Holcomb was the Browns quarterback. Carson Palmer for Cincinnati. They combined for 664 yards passing, and Cincinnati won 58-48.
And Bill, I was at that game, covering the game for CBS, and this is the only game since that has come close to the excitement, the scoring, and the fireworks that I've seen in the last 3 years.
5:44 remaining. A little squibber, and that's taken by the up man once again. Directing some traffic. And out across the 35-yard line to the 37 goes Reggie Kelly, the tight end. Well, here are some of the numbers from the game. 426 total yards for the Bengals. The Browns have 538. And look at all of those plays, 10 yards or more.
36 plays of 10 yards or more. That is just astronomical for the NFL. You know, you got to make plays, but that's going a little bit above and beyond, if you ask me.
The all-time record, by the way, was when the Redskins beat the Giants back in 1966, 72-41. First down, Palmer to Kelly, the tight end, who dives forward. Gets it to the 44-yard line. Cincinnati up in a hurry. Clock continues to run. Less than 5.5 minutes remaining.
I think that the Cincinnati Bengals need to have a little bit more urgency now and kind of run instead of just a no huddle. They need to get in hurry-up mode. We're coming up on 5 minutes left in the game, and they've got to score 2 touchdowns.
2nd and 2, 51-38, Cleveland. Palmer under pressure got rid of it. And that was a nice catch by Holt near midfield. But again, they'll give them the stuff underneath. Orpheus Roy was in a hurry on Carson Palmer. And it looks like that's Holt. And he is struggling after the catch. Once again, the Bengals are very thin in the wide receiver area.
Tab Perry having to leave the game with the hamstring injury early in the game. It's given Glenn Holt a chance to come in and make some plays, and he's done that all day. And he might, it seems like he's favoring that right leg. It might have been a little bit of a leg whip, accidental leg whip that he threw that caught that leg in an awkward position or awkward spot.
The Bengals just re-signed Antonio Chapman this week, but he's inactive. Chapman missed all of training camp. Well, the Derek Anderson era begins, and we don't know how long it's going to last with Brady Quinn waiting in the wings, but couldn't ask for a better start. We'll probably get the win unless Carson Palmer can pull a miracle. 320 yards, and Brady says that's okay.
Yeah, he was the first one to tell us that if he's in there, that means things aren't going well. Well, things have been going well for the Browns today.
Clock is moving, 4.5 minutes left. 13-point lead by the Browns. Palmer. Incomplete. Husmanzada, the intended receiver, couldn't haul it in at the 36-yard line. Eric Wright, the rookie, had fine coverage.
You'll see, this is good coverage by Eric Wright, the rookie. They tried to get him on a double move. They got him a little bit earlier on a double move, but right there he's in good position. Didn't give an inch to TJ Husmanzada. Made a nice close on the ball.
Let's stop the clock. 4:21 remaining. 2nd and 10 from midfield. Palmer has time. Incomplete.
Oh.
Chad Johnson could not bring it in, and that was in and out of his hands. A very catchable ball.
Yeah, Ocho Cinco knows it right there. That's a play he's got to come up with for his team. That ball was right on the money, right on time from Carson Palmer. You'll see Chad does a great job at the top of the route getting in front of the DB. The ball hits him right in the chest. And Carson Palmer, he's not used to seeing Chad Johnson or any of his receivers not bring that ball in.
The Bengals have 4 drops here in the fourth quarter. So 3rd and long, and again on their feet and cheering here in Cleveland.
And here they come.
Palmer to the sideline, overthrows Hushmanzada. It'll bring up 4th down.
But you got to go for it here if you're the Bengals. You can't kick in this situation. You haven't stopped Cleveland all day. And you've only got about 4 minutes left in the ball game. You've got to find a way to make this conversion and get the ball in the end zone. Give yourself a chance to win this ball game.
There's so much talk about the resurgent Bengals defense after the scrap on Monday night with the Ravens. Cleveland appeared to be in disarray early on offensively. They make a trade. They get rid of Charlie Fry 2 days after he starts in week 1. And here they explode for 51 points. Cincinnati, though, still alive. Chad Johnson, and he's out of bounds down about the 15-yard line. So on 4th and 10, Chad Johnson able to come up with the goods from Carson Palmer.
Well, this is something that Chad Johnson and Carson Palmer, I think, worked on or talked about in the huddle. They found out something about Lee Bodden, number 28, the corner there. They saw the way he was playing the coverage, and they made an adjustment because we have not seen that route all day long. And boy, what a big time to come back and go to that play. Big-time players making big-time plays to stay in it.
Now we're over 1,000 total yards in this game. That reception was for 32 yards for Chad Johnson, who's nearing 200. Lofts it to the corner, incomplete. Skylar Green, second-year man out of LSU, was the intended receiver.
And that's an example right there. You talk about losing players. You're losing Tab Perry, losing Glenn Holt, guys that maybe have had some reps with Carson Palmer in those particular situations on that route. I guarantee you, Skylar Green is the return man. He doesn't get a lot of reps in practice, and maybe he was a little bit off on his timing, but whatever the reason, Carson Palmer threw a ball that he normally would complete. He threw a little bit too far.
3:59 left. 2nd down. From the 18-yard line, Palmer guns it. Throws behind the receiver. It was Reggie Kelly. He couldn't turn and bring it in.
And you know, Reggie Kelly was open there. That was Carson Palmer knew right away where he was going. But we've seen a few balls get away from him today, and it happened last week in the Baltimore game too, where both he and Marvin Lewis felt they had left a lot of plays on the field due to bad throws from Carson Palmer. And as good as he's playing, I'm thinking, you know, you can't say much bad about him, but he should have completed that pass. You could see Reggie Kelly was open out there on the outside.
And Lee Bodden did a good job on Chad Johnson on that play. So 3rd down for Cincinnati. They trail by 13. Palmer wide open. Hushmanzada close to a 1st down and gets out of bounds. Mike Adams, backup safety, made the stop. Take a look at the numbers for Chad Johnson and TJ Hushmanzada. 179 for Chad. Both have a couple of touchdown catches. And the remarkable thing is they're losing by 13 points. 1st down, timing route to Johnson, incomplete. Chad turns, wants a flag, doesn't get it.
That was really solid coverage by Lee Bodden on the outside. They're just going with the straight fade route on the outside. Lee Bodden got good position. Chad Johnson never had a chance to catch that ball over the top from Carson Palmer. What a job Lee Bodden has, boy, trying to shadow Chad Johnson all over the football field. I don't know if I want to be in those shoes.
It'll be 2nd down. The Bengals have converted a 3rd and 10 and a 4th and 10 on this drive. They're stacked to the left side. Palmer Did he hang on? Yes, touchdown. Glenn Holt. What a catch. And he's slow getting up.
And that is Carson Palmer's 6th touchdown pass of the day. And a tremendous play by Glenn Holt. He's made plays all day long, having to step up and play due to the injury to Tab Perry. He has come through. That's the 2nd shot he's taken. What kind of shot? Let's listen to this.
Never let go of the football and still being helped on the sidelines.
He took that shot earlier in the game, too, I think, that almost knocked him out.
So it's not over yet, and why should it be? We still have 3:39 to play. It's 51 to 45. Goodness gracious. Only the 3rd time in NFL history that both quarterbacks have thrown for 5 or more touchdowns in a game. They both have 6.
And Carson Palmer still right there thinking if he gets another chance, always thinking ahead, talking to Skylar Green, his young receiver who's having to step up in different situations, just trying to make sure they're all on the same page and trying to talk about if they get the ball back in a 2-minute situation, what are the plays that he's going to go to. And look at those numbers. You don't see that kind of numbers on a weekly basis in the NFL.
Anderson has 5, not 6, but that's a pretty good ratio for the youngster, starting only his 4th game in the National Football League. 5 touchdown passes, 1 interception. And what do you expect coming out here? Do they onside kick it, or do they hope that the defense can finally stop them?
I think you've got to put it on your defense one time. And as we've stated a few times earlier, you got Joshua Cribbs back there for the Cleveland Browns, who's had 2 long returns today, 2 80-plus returns. One of them didn't count, but they are scared to death to kick the ball to him. They're playing for the onside kick, but I think you got to put it on your defense. You got 3.5 minutes left. You got timeouts. Put it on your defense to stop it.
The hands team is up, and they kick over their heads. Cribbs, nice forward to the 34-yard line, and that's where the Browns will take over with 3:34 remaining. Last time they scored 50 or more points was in 1989, 18 years ago. They beat the Steelers 51-0.
And not only that, but now the last time these two teams played, Cincinnati shut out Cleveland in Cincinnati last year.
First down, they keep it on the ground. Lewis is out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Jamal Lewis over 200 yards today. And Cincinnati will take a timeout. So they'll have 1 remaining. 3:27 left to play. It is a 6-point Cleveland lead. And coming up next, Larry Johnson and the Chiefs tangle with Brian Urlacher and the Bears, or the Jets battle the Ravens, while the Raiders take on the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Bill, Marvin Lewis is handling this situation exactly right. Kicking the ball off. You've got to man up on defense at some point. I'm sure he went over and had some words with his D's before they went out on the field and said, I'm going to put it in your hands. You guys need to step up at some point today and stop this Cleveland Browns offense, who, by the way, did not look very good last week against Pittsburgh. They've made you look bad all day. Make me look good. Make our team look good. Stand up and make some plays and give our offense a chance to go out and win this ball game.
On second down. Play action. They roll it out. And that's too bad. Lawrence Vickers looked away from the football and dropped it.
And if he catches that ball, Bill, he's still running right now, I think. He's down the sideline, one man to beat. Great play call by Rob Chudzinski. And you know what? Vickers knew how open he was, and he got a little bit ahead of himself and did not do the most important thing, and that is make sure that ball is put away before you look up the field.
So third down, and the clock stops. 3:23 remaining. This is one of the highest scoring games in NFL history. From the shotgun, Anderson. Edwards. And his forward progress may have gotten the first down. They're saying that he fumbled, but one official is pointing first down. So let's sort this out. And they're saying he was down, and the Browns will keep the football. Well, it's been a wild game in every phase, so we might as well have a wild ending.
Now, we are not inside the final 2 minutes, so it is not a situation where the referees would go back and review this play. Now, Marvin Lewis has the opportunity to challenge if he wants to, but inside the 2 minutes, it automatically is going to be reviewed. That ball is out.
It is.
Now, the question is if it's blown dead, ruled, down by contact. When was the play blown dead is the issue now.
Braylon Edwards, you see at the top of your screen there on the left side, they got enough for a first down, but Braylon Edwards is just now getting off the turf. And he was pounded after making the catch. Show you what Braylon Edwards has done today.
And he's made some plays all day. That's exactly what he was looking for, just what the doctor ordered. Great feet right there on that play. Then the nice double move to beat the rookie Leon Hall for a touchdown. And then again, selling out right there and rolling into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day. Career high 142 yards. But I think we're going to see Marvin Lewis may want to challenge this play. I don't know why he wouldn't at this point.
Well, that was a huge catch that time to get the first down by Braylon Edwards. 8 catches today, 146, and 2 touchdowns.
Now the question is this a reviewable play? If it was blown down by contact, my understanding is that it is. If there is a possible fumble, that they would give the coach the opportunity to challenge this and then go in and see if the continuation of the play was
well, it all
correct.
Depends on who came away with the football.
Right, and the opposing team did come away with the football, so it should be a reviewable play, in my understanding. But Marvin Lewis isn't putting on much of a fight.
So Cincinnati, no timeouts remaining. 3:11 left to go. 51-45. Jamal Lewis.
And Bill, we found out Johnny Greer is the official who's the observer in the replay booth. The word from him is that it is not reviewable due to the fact that it was ruled forward progress had stopped. It was not down by contact. It was actually forward progress had stopped before the ball popped out.
And
so
that forward progress was enough to get the first down.
If it was simply a down by contact decision, then it would have definitely been reviewable.
2nd and 9. Take a look at the offense we've had today here in Cleveland. 2.5 minutes remaining. Again, it's Lewis. Protect that football. Brought down right at midfield, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning. Will Carson Palmer get another opportunity? Now we've reached the 2-minute warning. What a memorable day it's been in Cleveland. 51-45. What a day it's been for Romeo Crennel. He takes a chance and makes a big quarterback move earlier in the week. Turns the reins over to this young man, Derek Anderson, who responds with a terrific outing. 5 touchdown passes. Jamal Lewis has had a memorable day. The same place where he set the NFL record for yardage, near 300 on that day. But he was playing not in a Browns uniform, but in a Ravens uniform 4 years ago.
So we are going to get to see Carson Palmer one more time, assuming that the Cincinnati Bengals can field this punt. And Cleveland will let the clock go down. But I think win or lose, you cannot say enough good about the job Romeo Crennel and his staff have done in keeping this club together. And with as you mentioned, the Charlie Fry decision to go to Derek Anderson, and all the other, the way they got shellacked last week by the Pittsburgh Steelers, to come out and play as hard as they played today and together and unified, I think it deserves a lot of credit.
And it has to feel good for Derek Anderson, originally drafted by Baltimore in the 6th round in 2005 in his 3rd year out of Oregon State. Was locked in a very tight battle in the preseason for the starting quarterback job. Lost it to Charlie Fry, a coin flip.
And he was frustrated about that, too, because Derek Anderson thought he had earned that job last season, but he kept himself mentally into it and was excited about this opportunity.
And this is the Browns' first punt since their opening possession. Skylar Green is the man back deep. Off the side of his foot, and that's not good, but it takes a great bounce for the Browns. And goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Now, we had a lot of fantastic finishes in Week 1. The Redskins beat the Dolphins in overtime, a 39-yard field goal. Jason Elam kicked a 42-yard field goal. So the Broncos beat the Bills. The Packers got a last-second field goal by Mason Crosby to beat the Eagles. And in San Francisco, it was close as well, 20-17 to close out the week late on Monday night. And will we have another fantastic finish? He has 91 yards to go. A field goal won't do it. Down by 6. And by the way, no timeouts. Palmer. In and out of the hands of Hushmanzada. They're lucky that wasn't picked off.
Very lucky. Very lucky. And I'll tell you, there was Skylar Green, probably the 4th or 5th receiver on their depth chart. You'll see him coming over the middle right there. He's open. I think if Carson Palmer had a little more confidence in him as a receiver, you might have seen him take that first option and get this drive jump-started.
Less than a minute remaining. Palmer from the goal line got it out and out of bounds to Rudy Johnson, short of a first down. But that will stop the clock with 53 seconds remaining.
One of the many great qualities that Carson Palmer possesses is a cool that his coach Marvin Lewis tells us. He says, you know what, that kid never gets rattled. He never changes his emotions. He's always in complete control, totally confident, and you won't see him get rattled in this situation either.
He's thrown 6 touchdown passes today. 3rd down. Again out to Johnson, out of bounds, a first down. 49 seconds left.
That and some people might wonder, you know, what are these short passes the way to go? Well, geez, we got still 49 seconds left, and Carson Palmer knew the most important thing right there was to pick up the first down, get the ball out of bounds, stop the clock. You're going to have a few chances to make plays, but if you've got a way to pick up some yardage on the sideline and stop the clock, you take that every time.
And they have no timeouts remaining, so he's limited the different parts of the field he can go to. Expect him to go close to the sidelines where they can stop the clock. Palmer, of course, he goes right up the middle. It's caught. Chad Johnson right at midfield. Now they have to get up in a hurry. And we have a Cleveland Brown who's down on the field, DeQuell Jackson.
Yeah. He landed on his back, it looked like. It might have had the wind knocked out of him.
That was a pickup of 30 yards.
What a tremendous catch by Chad Johnson. And Carson Palmer, knowing in this situation, you've got to make some plays when you get the opportunity. It might call for making a decision you normally wouldn't. Laying a ball in there over the top. What an unbelievable catch. And then that was Sean Jones and DeQuell Jackson running into each other. That's where DeQuell Jackson got hurt. But fearless Chad Johnson going up, pulling that ball, going over 200 yards on that reception.
209 yards on the day for Chad Johnson and a couple of touchdowns. So just over 50 yards to go. 33 seconds to do it and no timeouts.
So Cleveland was charged their final timeout because of the injury in the last 2 minutes of the game. Whether the player's injured or not is irrelevant. That actually works in Cincinnati's favor as well.
From midfield, Palmer with time. Up the sideline for Houshmandzadeh. That was almost picked off.
Yeah, that was one where
Mike Adams had a shot at it, the fourth-year backup safety from Delaware.
And that was one where Carson Palmer had maybe a little bit too much confidence in his arm. There wasn't a very big hole on the sideline. He's trying to thread it in there. Mike Adams, safety, knowing that the sideline is the ally of the Cincinnati Bengals right now. He's a little bit wider, knowing that if you give up a play down the middle of the field, the clock is going to continue running. They're not going to have enough time probably to get another play called. So the sideline is what the Cincinnati Bengals need to take advantage of right now.
28 seconds remaining. Second down. Palmer up the right sideline. Is it picked off? Lee Bodden, yes.
I'm not convinced that second foot got down, but if it did, well, what a tremendous play by Lee Bodden and Romeo Crennel. They can relax if that call does hold up, but it will be reviewed, and we'll see. Carson Palmer again trying to get the ball on the outside because you can't waste that time on the inside. 1 foot down. Yeah, he did. Boy, what a great play. Looked like a receiver there. He goes up, makes a tremendous catch, and then gets that left toe down. There's no doubt about that one. The Cleveland Browns have reason to celebrate now.
They review it upstairs. There are no challenges inside of 2 minutes. And they are checking it, we're told. Lee Bodden, who knew he would be matched up with Chad Johnson today, said he was looking forward to it. He always enjoys going one-on-one with the talented Chad Johnson. And that time, it was Lee Bodden who got the better of things. While they look upstairs, we'll take another peek.
He's got possession, down. Right foot, left foot. Yep, he tapped that left toe. That's just a great play.
Another thing you want to check is possession, and he had that.
It looked very clear to me and to you, I believe, Bill, that he did have possession of that ball.
21 seconds remaining. 96 points combined.
You know, all things considered, this could be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Cleveland Browns. You know, they needed something to get excited about. They'd only won 10 games over the previous 2 seasons under Romeo Crennel, and these games most of the time have gone against them. Whenever they've been in a ball game, they haven't been getting the breaks, but today they got a few breaks. They made some very timely big plays. Lee Bodden right there making the play, but Derek Anderson today, Kellen Winslow, Braylon Edwards, goes on and on. Joshua Cribbs, don't underestimate how significant those plays were. As well as
Jamal
the touchdown.
Lewis.
Jamal Lewis, that's right, rushing
only
over 200 yards. That's right. Just forget about that.
The Browns scored 51 points today. They had scored in their 5 previous games a total of 44 points. All losses. Almost 1,100 yards of total offense. And Pete Morelli is still over in the replay booth.
He looks very comfortable in that replay booth, doesn't he? Braylon Edwards got to feel good about today as well.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Interception.
And that will do it. The last win for the Browns against Cincinnati, October of 2004, Jeff Garcia was the starting quarterback. Take a knee, and it is one for the record books. 51-45. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. For Steve Berline, this is Phil McAtee. So long from Cleveland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.